the chairman, being the chairman of ISRO, S. Somanath, is speaking to the public in an exclusive conversation, and he will take charge on January 14th. So congratulations to you, sir.
Thank you.
And the first question is the space frontier. It's a big canvas. And there is immense potential into it. And there's a huge reform that the Indian government is also doing. So when you're coming in at a time when there is such a reform happening, are you excited, and what do you see as the possibilities ahead?
Really, a really exciting time, and this is a time in which a space scientist should live, I believe, because the things that are happening all across the globe is really inspiring. Let me talk about the world first, then before coming to India. See, when we were youngsters, we were thinking that there will be a real reusable rocket. It never happened, other than the space shuttle. So we have today, there are rockets flying and being reused multiple times. The access to launch space has come down drastically, and it is poised to come down much lesser. The possibility of human beings to fly to Mars and colonize are a possibility in front of us in shorter duration from now. The technology changes that are happening there are really mesmerizing. From the established space agencies to private companies who are able to build and launch and innovate in the whole thing. Not really build some substandard item, but build rockets and spacecrafts far surpassing the capability exists already. Is it not exciting for all of us? Mm-hmm. It's really. The real excitement is not that. Real excitement is that the space technology is now encompassing much bigger scale of financial scale of activity, which is again very, very important. Unless the scale of operations enhances, the cost will not come down, the possibility of access to larger segment of the society will not happen, and space-based services will not become very, very affordable for everybody, so that it becomes an integral part of every human being. This is the whole excitement which I think. The technology is always exciting, and technology is driven by need, like the mobile phone. The more you need from mobile phone, the better it will become, right? So this is what excites me.
Talking about technology and the startup ecosystem that India is seeing, especially in the space frontier, do you think that these technologies like blockchain or artificial intelligence, robotic engineering, all these is going to change the landscape in the next 3 years, since you're going to be taking charge for the next 3 years? So do you think you're going to be one of the fulcrum of that change? You'll be a witness to one of the fulcrum for that change to happen in India?
See, those are domains of technology changes which are not specific to space. No, it is a general technology revolution that is taking place, like the blockchain, IoT, or Industry 4.0. Now, all these areas, there is a big change happening. And space also will make use of some of these capabilities that are coming up. For example, artificial intelligence and machine learning are going to be integral part of application side of space. Sometimes it will become very, very important in spacecrafts and launch vehicle as well. But we are not going to be the creators of all these technologies. Space technology has been more hardware-oriented, technology-oriented, and whatever you mentioned are more into IT-enabled services. So they are different regimes, but then they have a common ground. Okay. So that common ground we will have to explore and then make use of in space sector.
Okay. My next question to you is that when the space is undergoing so much of change, now Chandrayaan-3, it has definitely brought in a lot of learning, and I believe that ISRO always believes in a continuity in picking up from where the other person has left it off. So how do you see that that the Chandrayaan-3, what are the important learnings from what we gathered from Chandrayaan-2? Because we believe in Republic it was not a failure, it was always a learning. So how do you see it, and how do you feel about being part of it? Now Chandrayaan-3 is going to happen.
I am looking for that mission very much. We have understood how the failure or the issue in the Chandrayaan-2 has happened. And the learning that come out of Chandrayaan-2 is also very clear. So the Chandrayaan-3 is organized in a way that issues can be addressed. So it's very clear to me. But then, of course, a mission has to happen. Chandrayaan-3 has to happen. To comment on what all you mentioned about it, let me look forward to that mission. I will also learn and understand whatever has been learned in other centers of ISRO. As a new secretary, I need to figure out how to take on whatever has already been decided, and I will definitely come back on the next step.
There is a lot of integration happening. A lot of countries are coming together in terms of sharing space technology and, mitigating climate change to a lot of things that the whole world can come together as. How do you see this opportunity now, in ISRO now that there's a need for a greater consensus because there are larger world issues also to be rectified, to be, in terms of climate change and other factors?
I know it's a very important point that you mentioned. So, space sector has an important role to play in these matters of sustainability, climate change, and greener technologies, etc. We do our role, but it is not limited to space technology alone. Okay. For example, if you look at climate change, what we can help is primarily in support of the modeling of climate change, understand the parameters that are required to model the climate change research. Space has an ability to measure many of the parameters that control climate change and provide to scientists by which they understand the climate change is real or not real. Here there are debates going on this itself. So the scientific missions and measurements which you are able to do from space gives you a global picture instead of a local picture. This global picture is important to help scientists to understand that and politicians to understand, the policymakers to understand. That's why these missions of space technology are important. And we also support in terms of terrestrial measurements and gathering of this data and then giving it to users. This is also a very important element. So missions of this nature involves multidisciplinary, multi-agency work, not only for space sector. So we don't believe the space is a solution for all of these problems. But we are helping in whatever small way we can help into understanding these issues and mitigating them.
Yes. In terms of defense expansion also, now space is becoming the next frontier. How do you see it in terms of defense aspect? What you can share with us?
I believe strategic importance for space is well understood. So in this domain, there are a lot of things that are required to be done. And being a strong space agency, we need to find out how the technology which we have created so far can be used for strengthening our national system. So whatever our friends in that sector need to be supported through this.
Okay. Apart from Chandrayaan-3, there is Gaganyaan also that is coming. I've been told in 2025 there is a France, along with France, we are doing a mission to Venus as well. So how do you see this this coming 3 years? How do you see that how ISR is going to develop in those aspects as well? Will we see more commercial viability? Do you expect more countries to use our technology to launch their satellites? Will there be a commercial aspect to it also as well?
See, we are not the only space agency working now. There are so many people working and everybody is working in a competitive environment. Yes. The ability to launch satellites are very much available in the world over and they are able to provide the services at lower cost. The ability to build spacecraft platforms are there available plenty. So the whole issue today is what is that we can do in India and we can bring about a difference to what others are doing. This is a question. The primary question that I want to address is what we can do in India for Indians. This and whatever is remaining will be available as a commercial opportunity to outside. Okay. I believe that there is a huge amount of need within India and there is a small amount of need which can be met for the commercial side for the world users. So this aspect is to be delineated. What you can do there, what you need to do here. Okay. Once you understand that, then our rocket design, your satellite design can be oriented towards these objectives. So it cannot be just a global, whatever I build can be commercialized. I don't believe it is just like possible. Designing something for a commercial purpose is different from designing something for a domestic use. They are different things.
Correct. So as you take charge, you're the third Keralite to helm ISRO. So interestingly, there's a there's a Kerala connect to space is there. How do you see it as a Keralite, and what do you have to tell other people about it?
No, I just happen to be born in this country, Bharat, and Kerala happened to be part of Bharat. So that's all. So there is no specific aspect related to that. I'm very proud of whatever my heritage and lineage. That is fine. But what is most important as an organization of Indian Space Research Organization, it's a pan-India organization. We have built it like that. Yes. And we have been working in such an environment. Yes. So after all, I would like to make use of the entire talent of this country to build this organization and the space business and economy in this country. And in that, definitely Kerala will be a part of it.
Yes. So ISRO is a kaleidoscope. It's in India. It's a potpourri of India together. So good luck with you with all your endeavors, and we look forward to meeting you and speaking to you again. And your last word for all the viewers of Republic about after when you take charge. What is it that one thing that you are really looking forward to?
I really look forward that by the time I leave, we will have a space enterprise in this country which is at least few times bigger than the current scale of operations of this organization. If that happens, I will be really pretty satisfied and happy.